Alright guys, what is going on? BusterBarnes here with my roundup of Game Week 1 in Fantasy Premier League. Obviously you guys saw my preview and my team. Let's see how that team did, how many points I got. Obviously you can see on the overlay my rank so far, and yeah, the whole aim of this season is for me to try and improve on last year's rank, but obviously Game Week 1 doesn't mean much. It's how you do obviously consistently throughout the season, and I guess we'll get a better understanding of how I'm doing in a few weeks time. Obviously if you guys do enjoy these FPL videos, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below who you guys are thinking of bringing in or selling for next week's Game Week as well. And if you do want to join the league code still, that is written on the top of the overlay as well to join the BusterBarnes Fantasy Premier League. But with all that said, let's get into looking at how my team did in Game Week 1. I actually did alright. I got 78 points, which is higher than the average of, I believe, what does it say there? It says 50 points was the average in that league. And going down, there is really one main key factor to how well my team did. That is obviously the captaincy of Mo Salah. But starting from the top of my team, McCarthy, 2 points. At the end of the day, he's a 4.5 goalkeeper. I didn't necessarily, expect that much more from him. He's going to get some clean sheets. He's going to tick over throughout the weeks. So he is still my set and forget keeper for at least the moment. Obviously Ariola's coming into Fulham. Martinez is coming into Villa. So do I want to change them? I don't really want to make a transfer for the goalkeeper, to be honest. Maybe if I wildcard in the future, I could think of swapping them. But I'm not looking to, ditch McCarthy anytime soon. Hopefully against Tottenham he'll get some save points. Maybe even a clean sheet. I doubt Tottenham will go 2 games without scoring, but I guess we'll see. Alexander-Arnold. Now, we did not expect this to happen. Only 1 point from him. Obviously, as you can see here, Leeds and Liverpool going 4-3. And yeah, to be fair, the other 2 defenders, Robertson and Van Dijk, if you had them, it wasn't so bad. Obviously, Robertson getting an assist, Van Dijk getting a goal. But Trent, unfortunately, he was not very good in the game. Got dribbled past a lot. Actually got saved from scoring an own goal as well by VAR. So that could have been very bad for us Trent owners. I'm not going to, think of selling him though. He actually didn't really have a pre-season and I believe was injured over the break. So it's going to take him a couple games to get back into the swing of things. But I do think that will eventually happen, so I'm not too worried about Trent either. And against Chelsea, with Kepa in goal, he could take a free kick and score. I'm pretty sure in both his games against Chelsea last season, unfortunately, he did score pretty similar free kicks against Kepa, so there's definitely a chance that could happen again. I kind of hope not, but I suppose if he does it, that's points. So, but yeah, I do pray Chelsea win that game. Going into our next defender, we had Justin, who just towards the end of the game won a penalty for Jamie Vardy. So very good from him. The clean sheet from Leicester as well. Did get a yellow card, but I believe managed to actually pick up a bonus point, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, he got 1 bonus point for that assist, I believe, so fair play to him. Mitchell actually didn't start this game. It was Vinagre who didn't play, and Marcel actually started over him, so that is maybe a cause for concern. I will be looking to offload Vinagre soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week though. I might still, bag on Mitchell playing and, transfer someone else, but I will get into that at the end. I will be talking about my top 3 transfers that I'll be looking at doing this week going into next season, and we'll obviously see in the preview video for the next game week what it is I've actually done potentially. But Mitchell getting a clean sheet for Crystal Palace against Southampton. Quite surprised by that result actually. I thought if anything it'd be the other way around. But, luckily for me, Palace got a clean sheet and Mitchell did manage to come on. I was really worried that Vinagre was going to come on, be subbed on and get a 1 point. But luckily he didn't. So I did get a bit saved and a bit lucky by Mitchell coming on as well. But going into the midfield, we'll start from the right just for, a bit of tension. St. Maximin getting the 3 points. Obviously with a 2-0 win over West Ham, you'd hopefully hope that he does a bit more. But obviously at 5.5 million, you're not expecting him to score every week. So we'll see how he ticks over. I'm not looking to offload him yet. Heung-min Son, obviously Spurs losing 1-0 to Everton. No one in Tottenham really looked great, but I am going to keep Son away at Southampton. You'd think that hopefully they'll be looking to bounce back from that. And I am quite glad that I sold Kane just before the game week started as well, because he did not look that great. And I'm not too sure how great he's going to be anymore this season. I could be wrong. He could score against Southampton, but he was still dropping deep, wasn't making too many runs. So it will be interesting to see how Spurs get on throughout this season's continuing. Going on to next, we had the Bamyang, who was part of Arsenal's 3-0 win against Fulham. Nice for him to get a goal, but I am glad I obviously didn't give him the captain's armband, as I had a player who did a bit better than that. Willian, the key player from the Arsenal game, getting 3 assists, or basically 2 assists and an FPL sort of assist as well. A lot of people looking at him, his price actually has gone up. But am I, set on getting Willian? I don't think so. He wasn't that consistent for us, and he won't even be taking penalties for Arsenal as well, or at least that's what I believe. If he does take a penalty for Arsenal, that is maybe a game changer on him. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, so I'm still going to hold off on Willian at the moment. Mo Salah, what can I say? I'm glad I captained him. Obviously, Liverpool didn't do that well defensively, but offensively they still scored 4 goals. Got 2 penalties. Salah's their penalty taker. Got a hat-trick. Got the bonus points. I captained him. He got me 40 points. And that is really the difference between players that did well this week and didn't do so well, was whether you captained Salah or not. And luckily for me, I did. Going into the attack, Mitrovic getting the 1 point. Was really surprised to see him not starting. I do think he'll start though going forward, so I am still probably going to hold on and keep him. There's other players in the team that I think I want to offload before him, but yeah, hopefully he starts starting from now on. Obviously he did have a bit of an injury at the end of last season, so hopefully that's not still with him. Hopefully he is going to fully recover from that. Going in onto Ings, this was quite disappointing. I did think Southampton were going to get a goal against Crystal Palace, but unfortunately that was not the case, so Ings only got me 2 points. He is one of the players that I'm sort of, thinking of replacing, and not necessarily because of him, because I do think he will score goals, and he could even score against Tottenham, but because of another player's performance. Werner as well, obviously with the yellow there, I do think he will be okay for the Liverpool game. He just got a little bit of a knock. He did say in the interview that he's always fit for those big games, but he did get an assist, winning a penalty. He looked very lively as well, making runs in behind. Did get a few shots off, but unfortunately none going in the back of the net. So yeah, I'm still definitely keeping him. He did look like a very exciting prospect for this team. Only player that played on the bench was Reed, getting 2 points, so fair play to him, I guess. Like I said, Vinagre not starting for Wolves, which was maybe a bit disappointing. Johnson, I thought, did maybe have a chance of starting for West Ham, but, it was Fredericks that started. But now West Ham have lost, you don't know, maybe Johnson will get a run, going, for that right-back spot over Fredericks, so I guess we'll see how that occurs. But overall, 78 points, pretty good start, above average, rank 376,251. An improvement on my overall rank last season, obviously though it's very early on, so we'll see how my team continues going forward. But yeah guys, going into my watch list so far, as you can see there's a few players I've been monitoring, but I'm going to pick out 3 key players that I will be thinking of bringing in potentially for game week 2. It was kind of hard to narrow them down to 3 because there were players that did well, but looking at fixtures going forward and the potential of players to get points, the 3 that I chose were starting with Reece James. Obviously maybe I'm being biased as a Chelsea fan, but Chelsea, if it wasn't for Kepa's poor attempted save, they may have actually got a clean sheet against Brighton. Brighton did have a higher XG though, but I do think that Chelsea are going to get better as their transfers come in and as everyone gets a bit more fresh. Reece James getting a goal and an assist, an absolute banger. He was on a corner as well. I don't think he'll be our main corner taker, but obviously I could be wrong. With his ability, that is definitely a nice prospect with him being 5 million and being a corner taker and a Chelsea defender. I do think we'll get more clean sheets this season. Not saying we'll be solid defensively or anything, but he is definitely someone I'm looking to bring in maybe over Vinagre, who doesn't seem to be starting for Wolves. Part of me does want to hold on though and see if maybe Vinagre gets a chance to play, but with Wolves winning 2-0, that does seem unlikely, and they are also against Man City. So Reece James's fixtures, there is the Liverpool game at home. Liverpool did look a bit dodgy, but he's probably not going to get defensive returns in that game. So I do maybe want to hold off for, West Brom, Palace and Southampton. These are 3 very good fixtures, but with the issue is with Reece James doing well, there is a chance his price could go up, and I would like to potentially try and avoid, having to pay the extra 0.1 million for him. So that could be, a factor in whether I do transfer him in this game week, because I don't think Mitchell is going to do that well this week either against Manchester United if he does start, so that could be a factor. Another player that I'm thinking of as well, going to Burnley, they obviously didn't play this week, is Charlie Taylor. I do like Peters, and Peters does sometimes play on the wing, but I do think he was more of a bit part player due to Brighton's or Burnley's injuries, so Peters maybe a bit of a question mark over whether he's going to play. Taylor, not a great game at the start against Leicester, but going on from this, Burnley have some great fixtures. Obviously, Tottenham and Chelsea not necessarily great, but I will be, I think, looking into bringing a Burnley defender eventually. Whether it's for this next game week, I'm not too sure. I might hold off from that. And finally, the last player is actually a striker, and that is going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting the goal against Spurs. I do think players like Richarlison looks good, and obviously James Rodriguez, you know, those two players did look a bit more lively than Calvert-Lewin, but he did get the goal, and with someone like Rodriguez behind him and with Richarlison next to him, I do think there is the opportunity for him to get quite a few more goals this season. And looking at his fixtures, well, West Brom at home, Crystal Palace, Brighton, you know, even Liverpool at home, United's at home as well. I do think there is opportunity for return from him. So I could be looking to maybe offload Danny Ings, who, there's nothing against Ings, and it could definitely come back to bite me. But with, you know, his game against Tottenham, with him dropping slightly deeper in this game as well, you know, with him and Adams on the pitch, Ings did drop slightly deeper down, so that was a cause of concern for me. But you know, I was hoping that going into this week that I wouldn't have to make a transfer, but it does just seem a bit unlikely now with some of the players, you know, the eye test on some of the players that I have seen perform badly and perform well as well. So yeah, Ings and Vinagre are the two players that I'm thinking could be offloaded for James, for Taylor, or for Calvert-Lewin. I really don't want to take a 4-point hit. I do think my most likely transfer will be Ings for Calvert-Lewin, because I mean, well, it will have to be Ings for Calvert-Lewin anyway, because to free up the money for potentially Vinagre to Reece James, I will need to, you know, get rid of one of my players and get in a slightly cheaper one. So I do think Ings for Calvert-Lewin is the most likely transfer to happen for me for the next week. And I will be watching the prices as well for players to see who will be going up and down, to see if I, you know, do need to maybe ditch Vinagre for James. That could be a very risky move. And it is the second week. Do I want to be taking risks this early? Maybe not. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think I should sell? Who do you think I should sign? Who are you going to sell or sign? I would love to know. If you enjoy this FPL Game Week recap / review, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you guys think of this game week in general. What teams are you watching? What teams do you think are going to do poorly? Please be sure to subscribe for more FPL video content. My next preview for Game Week 2 will most likely be out on Friday, so do look forward to that as well. And yeah, hopefully we can carry on improving, carry on getting above average and tick over and try and, you know, get up the ranks a little bit. That would be most enjoyable. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you next time.